to Coping Through the Holidays. I'm Teresa Brockmeyer, and since this is a pre-recorded video, we don't have any clients. Let's introduce ourselves and share if we think mental health is affected by diet. And I'll let this moment pause for self-reflection and if we do think that it's affected by diet. Doesn't matter what we eat for our mental health. Accumulating data suggests that this may need to be the case, and diet and nutrition are not only critical for human physiology and body composition, but also can have a significant effects on mood and mental well-being. Today's foods are more made with preservatives than ever to extend the shelf life. And I had a chiropractor once that took chicken McNuggets from McDonald's and left it on his shelf for about a year. And it still stayed preserved, and it was harder than a rock. And then 5 years later, it was still harder than a rock, and it was preserved. And we're eating these. And then snack foods have a lot of genetically engineered foods, and more like Chex Mix and a few other snack foods. And if you read the labels, and if you purchase non-GMO foods, that's actually better for you. But reading labels is important. And then red food color number 40 was researched to create cancer back in the 70s, and it was taken off the shelves. And it was added to hot dogs, and it was added to M&Ms, and it was added to a lot of extra foods. And then recently, it was researched to create hyperactivity in children. And this is what we're feeding our kids and ourselves. And it's affecting our moods. And even if we have too much poor nutrition, it can affect our mood and how we feel about ourselves. And then it can also help into gaining weight for us. And then we'll feel worse about ourselves. So we need to think about it and then feel better. And I know I feel better after eating spinach salad. Nutritional psychiatry is a new, rapidly emerging field of nutrition and mental health that is a new avenue of prevention. Over the past decade, there has been a steady increase in studies investigating the relationship between dietary patterns and mental states. And I've actually written papers, and then I'm going to be gathering data for a future book of mine in about 5 years. And I'm gathering data from all my research, and this is going to be interesting because I'm going to use myself as a guinea pig. And I myself have a stress eating problem, and I do admit it. And once we admit it, then because after my father died, I gained more weight back. And I was doing really good before that. And we know that we can pick ourselves back up and then start again. Because we can gain knowledge from learning. Research study findings. There has been a lot of research on Western diets, us in America. One of the most richest nation in the world. And we have a highly processed diet. And we are at risk for developing psychiatric symptoms, such as depression and anxiety. The more one eats a Mediterranean diet, that's actually with fish and a lot more vegetables. That once you replace red meat, um, try it at least once a week, and then go to 2 times eating more seafood or vegetables as a primary, and that can actually help with your well-being over time. Some simple modifications a person can try: eat only while sitting down at the kitchen or dining room table. Do not eat while watching television, because you can eat more than you ever know. Because if you ever sat with popcorn during a movie and then by the end of the movie you realize you've ate the whole thing, and then while reading or cooking, and then talking on the phone and standing at the refrigerator or working on the computer. Keep the tempting foods out of the house. Don't buy them. Don't bring them in the house. And if you bake, share it with family, relatives, or bring it to work. And then keep tempting foods out of sight. Have low calorie foods ready to eat. Have carrots and celery ready to go in little containers, and then or put them out on the dining room table for people to munch on. And keep tempting foods out of sight. And unless you're preparing a meal, stay out of the kitchen. Have healthy snacks at your disposal, such as small pieces of fruit, vegetables, canned fruit, pretzels, low fat string cheese, and non fat cottage cheese. And a little trivia about cottage cheese: it actually has a lot of protein in it per ounce. And read labels. And so when we make these behavior modifications, it's not a diet, it's a way of living. And try it and see what happens. During the holidays, like I said earlier, this is like a rehashment of it. Keep tempting foods out of sight and decorate the house without using food. Sometimes people have nuts in fancy candy dishes. Then, it's tradition to put little candies on your coffee table or anything. And, um, and then at your work, there's always stuff around, and um, it's very tempting. Then have low calorie beverages and foods on hand for guests. And then if you're having a party, and then allow yourself one planned treat a day. And then if you don't allow yourself one planned treat a day, some people might actually um, see the M&Ms on the coffee table and then might not stop at one. If you don't allow yourself anything, you might overindulge. And don't skip meals to save up for the holiday feast. Eat regular planned meals. Why good nutrition is important. The consequences of a poor diet also has an impact on further global health hazards. Obesity, Alzheimer's, and depression are comorbidities of obesity. leading to the theory that vascular impairments may have a role in development of dementia in psychiatric pathologies. As these result in observations, Alzheimer's disease and other dementias are now being thought of as potentially preventable diseases. Can you imagine if you were to turn back the clock and if you were to eat better in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s and 70s, and then by the time you're in your 80s, not have dementia? It's a good thing to ponder. Exercise. Make exercise a priority in planned activity in the day. We all are guilty of um, not exercising enough. If possible, walk the entire part of the distance to work. In my case, it isn't possible because sometimes I drive up to 100 miles a day. Get an exercise friend. Go for a walk with a colleague during one of your breaks, or go to the gym. Run or take a walk with a friend. Walk in the mall or shopping or with a shopping companion. Park at the end of the parking lot. I always do this for the grocery store. And walk to the store or office entrance. Always take the stairs as a way, or at least part of the way of your floor, to your floor. If you have a desk job, walk around the office frequently. Do leg lifts sitting under your desk. I actually have a bicycle that I have under my desk, like a desk bicycle, and sometimes I do that. If you leave your desk job, um, just take a few extra steps, and then do something outside on the weekends, or like going on a hike or a bike ride, or even gardening, or even mowing, or even snow shoveling. So during the holidays, just try to find time to be more active. More research. I always want to do research to look into things. And a further new avenue in nutritional psychiatry has been, research targeting the gut microbes. And if you eat yogurt, you also can take a probiotic during the day, and that would even add to. So they're linking the communication in the brain of the gut microbes as to our health and obesity and how we feel and some of the somatic um, things that are going on. So if we, look at this a little bit deeper, then maybe we'll feel better. Believe in yourself. You can do this. Believe in yourself is important. Believe it and achieve it. Focus on a healthy eating style, not dieting. Dieting usually lasts for a short amount of time and rarely produces long-term success because we're restricting ourselves and starving ourselves. And that's not good either. Think long-term. You are developing a new healthy behavior to follow next month, in a year, in a decade. And we want something we can stick to, not yo-yo dieting, because that actually can hurt us over time. Because our body can think we're putting ourselves in a starvation mode, and you can gain the weight back and even more. And yes, I can actually attest to this. And I've done a lot of dieting where I've eaten nothing but salads. And then the moment I ever go back to regular food, it's just my body wants to store it because it thinks it's going to starve itself. And that's not a good thing either. And so once we believe in ourselves and then feel better about ourselves, and it will all come together. And you can do this. Interesting fact, early development sets the stage for later development. And this is true. So if you eat a healthy diet when you're young, then that can affect your brain development. Any effects in nutritional intervention during the period of early brain growth in the first 1,000 days and from conception to until 2 years age may have a larger impact on later health than do interventions later in life. So if we are new moms, then we got to keep this in mind. And if we have babies, and this can affect us early in life of what is done to us in the first 1,000 days, since the brain is developing and growing. And then the brain, they say anywhere from 18 to 25 years. It depends upon what data you look at. And so the brain's developing until you're 18 years old to 25 years old. And so before that, everything is important. What we eat. And everything is important no matter what age you are, what we eat. Because if your body's not getting the right nutrition, then it tells you, because symptoms occur, conditions occur. I left this page open for the references I used in the research that I found. And of course, we're always here when you need us. We are Family Connections in Council Bluffs, Glenwood, Red Oak, Woodbine, Avoca, and Plattsburgh. Call us today and we can set up an appointment for you or your children.